I'm even more positive than the IMF, so I do not see the mild recession for this year. I think maybe the first quarter could be a rather weak quarter, but the rest of the year seems to be pretty good. So we are ending up with maybe a tiny plus or something like this. But the German economy improved a lot over the past couple of weeks and months. So the adaptation capacity of the German industry is pretty high. The energy crisis is more or less solved. So we had really worried situation in the past, but this is now over, and the outlook is good.
Do you really believe the energy crisis is solved? There's not going to be a problem going into next winter?
Yeah, I think you're right. This was a mild winter, but also Germany did a lot to overcome this dependency regarding Russian gas. So there's no dependency anymore. There's now more LNG. And this is something that will not go away. It will be there also for the next winter. And this mild winter also helped for the next winter. So the storages are so that they're pretty full. So I'm really positive.
Well, I follow the PMI data quite closely, and I think what's interesting there is there's a big distinction between some of the strength that has come through on the services side versus the weakness that we're still seeing in manufacturing. And in some cases, we're still far away from pre-pandemic levels. What can be done to get German manufacturing back to where it was?
Yeah, I guess we shouldn't forget where we came from. We were in a rather, let me say, complicated, tough situation that started with that war of aggression of Russia against Ukraine, February last year. And we shouldn't forget what we achieved over the last 15 months. So, as I said, the German industry has a good capability to deal with this situation. There is this inherent strength of the German economy, and I believe they will overcome this and they will go back to the levels we saw before the pandemic.
You sound to me quite positive on the state of the German economy. What about inflation? This is the big topic that we've all been discussing, the fact that inflation levels have actually started dropping, and yet core inflation is still proving to be quite sticky.
I think you're absolutely right. Core inflation is sticky. Inflation in its all, let me say, composites is a very stubborn phenomenon, and so it's definitely the case that we on the monetary policy side, we have to be even more stubborn to fight against inflation. So we have to do more on the inflation front. This is also for sure. Core inflation is still on this very elevated level, and so I believe that will take time till core is coming down. But the headline inflation is maybe giving the right direction, so it will take time also for the core side to come down. And I see that core is coming down maybe before the summer, but for the next months I believe that will stay on rather high levels. And this is the reason why we have to stay really alerted when it comes to the inflation story.